What's going on YouTube? Attic from the FYA here. We're just going to be doing a quick tutorial on this here Cryopod. It is the Pokeball of Ark, and it is amazing. It's really cheap, as you can see. 10 crystal, 15 fiber, 5 hide, 2 metal ingots, 4 oil, and 8 polymer. And on this map, you can use corrupted nodules from any corrupted dino in place of polymer. So it is so cheap. So very cheap. All you need is the tech replicator to make it, which can be kind of a pain to create. I know my tribe and I had to fly all the way into one of the Titan caves to make it, but they also come from at least a couple of orbital drops that I've completed. We've gotten some cryopods on them. As you can see, they have a timer, 30 days fresh after crafting before you have to make a new one. For this demonstration, I bred a new Velosaur. As you can see, it's brand new. It has no experience. It just reached adulthood. It has 3 experience to its name. We're going to go ahead and put it in the Pokeball real quick. So you just walk up and use your attack button, and the Pokeball will absorb it. These Cryopods weigh about half a pound, and you can store anything in them. Gigas, T-Rexes. Anything that you have tamed can go inside these things, which is awesome. Personally, I carry a bird, a T-Rex, and a Velosaur on me most of the time. But you could do something like carry an Anki to a different farming location, or a Doed, moving around the lamppost to get some more of that coveted element dust. So as you can see, I have a debuff right now. It's about to dissipate in a couple of seconds. That debuff comes from using and resummoning a dino that you have in a cryopod. What we're going to do right now is we are going to be testing something that I noticed upon initially logging in. I keep my personal dinos on me at all times just so they don't get misplaced or they don't get accidentally killed by a wild dino. We've had a corrupted Giga wander in a couple of times now, and our turrets haven't been able to kill it initially. And there's always something that dies, and I just don't want it to be any of my tames. So what we're doing out here right now is we're getting some experience because I used and resummoned my bird first thing, and it was the same thing with my T-Rex. They both got levels. My owl specifically, I think, had 10 additional levels on it when I first summoned it, and I think my T-Rex had 6. But that means that your dinos get shared experience while inside the Pokeball, which I think is awesome. I think their food also goes down as well, because after resummoning Velosaur just a little bit ago, it immediately ate out of the food trough, and I hadn't kept it in the ball for very long. I think it's just a standard food decay. It's nothing major or outrageous, because it only ate one time and it was back to full. So we're just going to kill a couple of things since it is a fresh baby dinosaur. Even though we haven't killed too much, it should immediately level up once we get back to base. The shared XP, because I have nothing crafting right now, as you could see. Like, we saw 1 tick of the shared XP go while I was looking at the baby's inventory, and that was only 2.5 experience points. So anything more than that means it's getting shared experience from each of these kills, which is great because you can carry your backup or your replacement dinos on you. And let's say you're out in the field. Like, I've had this happen to me so many times. I'm out, I'm leveling up one of my Velosaurs, because let's be real, those things are overpowered when it comes to DPS. And I bit off a little bit more than I could chew. I had a couple of wyverns come and, tell me what was up, and I killed one but got killed by the other one, and then all of a sudden you're on foot. And what can you do? Well, with the Pokeballs, you can summon a new dino. Or let's say that you're out and you're tame hunting, right? And you're on an owl, which sucks at PvP, but they're fast and amazing at scouting. and healing, by the way. So you're out, you find, let's say, for instance, I find a level 150 Vela, right? Well, I can't exactly clear the area very quickly with my owl, so I toss out my T-Rex. I clear all the other wild dinos in the area. I set up a little box to kite the Vela around. I tame it, and then after taming it, I pick it up with a Pokeball, pick my T-Rex back up with a Pokeball, and I just call them Pokeballs. They're Cryopods. I gotta change that in my mind. You pick them back up with the Cryopods, you hop back on your owl, and you fly back to base. I mean, these things are awesome. Or you load up a Giga in one and then you chuck it in the middle of somebody's base and the Giga will pop out, and let's say that its settings for its behaviors, they stay the same once they pop out. So if it was on aggressive before you put it in, it will be on aggressive when it comes out, right? The only thing that I've noticed that really changes is I picked up one of our turret mode Velas and resummoned it, and it did not have the turret mode, but it did retain the aggressive status. Orbital drop coming in. Alright, so let's go ahead and resummon this baby real quick and take a look at its experience bar. Here. And pop it up. It should be, yeah, so 3.4, and then let's wait a minute. It should just jump up after a few seconds of being resummoned. Theoretically. Yep. So, I mean, it's not much, but it's still got some shared XP, or XP over time. Because I only do 2.5 a tick. So, solid. They can still gain some XP. I think it's just tribe shared XP while in the Pokeball, which is dope. And let's go ahead and demonstrate what happens if you use the Pokeball again. And this isn't when you're picking up dinos, it's only when you're resummoning. So as you can see, that debuff started. You have a 5-minute debuff after you resummon a dino, and if you summon another one inside that 5 minutes, it resets your debuff, and the dino comes out with cryo sickness. So for raiding purposes, you couldn't just one man bring, you know, 20 dinos with you and mob on somebody, right? But everybody could bring an extra dino, and you wouldn't have to kite them the whole way there, figure out some way of resummoning them if you wanted to. I know everything's in the prep work. Like, yeah, it went from 17.5 to 19. So there's no other XP source right now besides just the existential one. But I mean, these things are OP. You can be prepped for almost any situation. You can have a backup dino in your pocket if you're out by yourself and you get overwhelmed and you manage to get away. And as long as you can get back to your body, you know, like let's say you got popped on a dino and you have a backup dino but you couldn't get it out in time and you got murdered. Your dino will still be there for you to go back and get. Now, that being said, if you cannot get back to your body, it's like you're losing a couple of dinos. So you should still probably be careful depending on how many you have. But I just like the application of these things. Like I said, my favorite is probably just the scout availability, flying around on my owl, able to pick it back up so it's not in danger while I'm killing stuff on my T-Rex. You know, things like that. Able to carry an extra Velosaur, so if my T-Rex needs backup, I can pop a Velosaur and set it up on turret mode while I'm fighting something. I don't know. These are probably one of the coolest things that have been added to the game, and if you micromanage your 5-minute debuff correctly, it won't hinder you at all. And they're just fantastic. I'm just blown away. But a Pokeball is still a Pokeball, I guess. And that concludes everything so far that I've noticed about the Cryopod. If you guys know anything else or have any additional comments, feel free. And thanks for watching.